What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is just showcasing some really tanky werewolf builds for update 47. They're looking really good on the stat sheets, so we're going to break each one down individually. So we're going to go first with the one on the top left, which is number one, which is Essence Thief and Wretched. So I'll just zoom in. We'll just look at some of the stat numbers we've got here. So, of course, the magical recovery is super high on this. We've got 2,500. Stamina recovery is nice as well. It's 2,100. The health is at 42k, which is really nice. The damage isn't too bad. It's 5.3k weapon damage. Bear in mind we're using Essence Thief on this as well, so you're getting that 10% damage done bonus. And that also is extra stamina recovery as well, essentially. And the resistances are okay. It's quite difficult on Werewolf to get them up where you want them to be, but 28k is not too bad. Crit resistance at 23k, that's pretty solid. So we're going to move on to the next one we have here, which is Pariah and Essence Thief. So this is just, again, a more of a tankier variation, sacrificing some of the recoveries against the first option. So the magic recovery is still fairly high. We've got 2,300. Stamina recovery has taken a bit of a hit, but again, you do have the Essence Thief, so it's still definitely workable. And then we've got the maximum health at 44k almost. That's really nice. Again, the weapon spell damage is slightly lower, but again, we do have the Essence Thief to give us that unique 10% damage done bonus. And of course, the resistances as well. I think all the penetrations are pretty much the same on all of them, which is around the 13, 14k mark, which is enough usually for Werewolf. Critical resistance is a little bit higher on this one. And also the physical resistance is around the same, 28, 29k. So we're going to move on to the third one we have, which is just a different variation, just adding in a proc scent, which is the Amphimir's Construct, the monster set. So again, the recoveries are a little bit lower, at 2100 magical recovery. The stamina recovery is about 1200, but again, we've got the Essence Thief to recover us. So even though the recoveries are lower, it's still very sustainable. That's why it's all centered around the Essence Thief. It's just a great set for Werewolf. The health is a little bit lower. The weapon damage is just under 5k. Resistances, it's all the same very much, but this is going to throw that axe, which is going to deliver damage every time you do a heavy attack, which is what you often do on Werewolf anyway, to sort of like sustain yourself. So once you do that, you're going to be throwing that axe. It's going to be also reducing their armor by about 2.3k, and then you're going to be throwing that deadly axe as well, which does a lot of physical damage as well. But like I said, I'll get into all the full breakdowns of each of these. And the final one we have, which is the War Poet and the Essence Thief. So again, the magical recovery is about 2,500. It's nice. Stamina recovery again is a bit low, but we do have the Essence Thief. The maximum health is around 44,000, which is pretty solid. So they're all like tanky variations. The resistances are up there a little bit more. But again, with this one I have highlighted here, I forgot to say that on the second one, the resistances are about 37k. With Pariah, you know, it's almost maximum when your health is very low. So the resistances do go up on that one. And I said the War Poet, that's just chucking in a bit more extra health. So yeah, we're going to break down all these variations. These are like the four sort of variations I've sort of come up with. And then we'll break them all down, go through them all, and then just see what you guys think. Again, they're all sort of theory crafted as such. I don't actually have clips for any of them, but I've probably used them in some shape or form on probably one of my previous builds. And then we can just say in the comments at the end, guys, what your favourite one is. I know what my favourite one is, but I'll say it at the end. And I think it's the best combination possible on Werewolf. If you want to stay tanky, yes, there's definitely different combinations you can make to have more damage, but I think you're just sacrificing a lot of survivability. So this is still retaining high survivability, yet you're still delivering damage. So we're going to get into that. So here is the first setup, guys. They're all numbered. I'm not going to be talking all the way through all of them, as everything on the screen is here for what you need. All the stats, all the Munder stones, all the sets, all the skills, everything will be on each one. And I'll also put timestamps as well for 1, 2, 3, and 4 for each setup. And so you can, if you want to build this setup and you want to use it, then it will all be here what you need to put on and sort out. So it's all going to be there for you guys. Like I said, just skip through to which one you need and which one, if you're interested in, just jump to it and have a look at it, see what you think. And so at the end of this, guys, I'll put my review in of which I think is the best one and why. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well, guys. But like I said, they're all using Oakensoul as well. They're all very similar. They're just different variations. Some pushing a bit more recovery, some pushing a bit more resistance, some pushing a bit more pressure and damage. So it's totally down to preference. But these are probably my top werewolf builds that I really like at the moment. Really like the setups. I've probably used about like 2 or 3 of them properly anyway. I don't think I've used the Amphlomir's one, which I think is number 3. But there we go. Like I said, everything is here that you need. I also recommend the Orc Race is really great for Werewolf, of course, because of that movement speed buff. But yeah, all the CPs and stuff. Hope you enjoy it, guys. Like I said, I've already talked through number 1 already. But yep, number 2's coming. And I'll see you at the end. And I'll do a full review of everything. Right guys, I'm back in the review section of these 4 setups. Like I said, they're all very similar. They're all running Oakensoul. They're all running Essence Thief, just different variations. And I'm going to break down which ones I think is the top one. And obviously I'll go in reverse order. So I think it's the number 3 I'd put last. It's nice to have that axe. It's just more of a fun sort of variation. Then I'd probably go with number 4. Because again, it's very nice with the high health, but I think the recovery is just not quite there. But they're still viable builds. And then I'd go number 2, which is the Pariah and the Essence. That's really, really great. Very, very tanky, and the recoveries are high. But I'd still go with number 1, which is the Essence Thief and the Wretched Vitality. The magical recovery is just absolute king on Werewolf with super high health as well. Obviously, that's what the burst heal scales off, is the max health, and having tons of magical recovery is what really keeps you alive. So I'd like to really get the magical recovery to about 3k. With high health, that is going to be absolute the best bang for your buck, because you're going to have super strong heals and you can just spam the heals all day. But again, you've got to make sure the damage is there. But I think number 1 is the best combination overall, with number 2 a close second, and then obviously 4 and then 3. But let me know your thoughts, guys. What do you think it's got the best stats for PvP, for Werewolf in update 47? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next video.